Schmack 'em a gob, everybody. The return of the podcast kings. I am Ralph Mouth, and with me is
Oh, yeah. Sick, dirty grandpa, the Ayatollah alcohola, Wadzilla. What's up, Ralph?
what'd you do to Popsy Weber? He was supposed to be here.
Oh, shit, he couldn't make it.
Ah,
Because we're too controversial.
as I understood, the networks fired you and they hired Anson Williams.
He does work cheaper. That's for damn sure.
They fired you because of what you said about the people in Palestine.
Oh, I'll get to that. Boy, did we get some mail. But
oh, really? People were complaining about that on our
oh yeah,
show? On our
yeah.
show? Oh,
Well,
good.
I don't recognize all the names because I don't speak those fucking those godless languages. But I think they were newbies.
Fuck that.
But
Palestine people rule. Cuban people suck.
but yeah, man, I'm here. I apologize to everybody. We've been off for the last 3 weeks because of me, and I'm a little under the weather, so bear with me. I'm about 4 beers deep when I'm usually 12. Um, but hey, we're back. We got a great episode coming up for you. We got some really good ones on deck. We'll talk about later.
Are you
But we
drinking?
might as well go ahead.
Are you drinking Rolling Rock?
No, I'm drinking Rainier. It's a
Not good.
Washington beer.
Not good. You
Not
need to
good.
drink Rolling Rock. Rolling Rock is awesome for AIDS.
Oh, honey? Ah, she's gone.
Yeah.
Anywho, yeah, what an episode last time we were together. Count Ralphus.
Oh,
Woofa.
God damn! It's been that long. Damn.
Yeah.
That was a long time ago. You mean Count Drunkus?
I
Holy
mean,
fuck!
Roger Gilmore.
I didn't understand the thing he was saying toward the end. I mean, we obviously got to do a part two, and we got to get
Oh, yeah.
Ralph on here. But
Oh, yeah.
Ralph, just get stoned, dude. Don't get drunk. Because and
Oh,
another thing, Ralph wasn't prepared for us because we talked for 2 hours before we even got into the subject, and by
yeah.
then he was too ripe. You know?
Yeah, this ain't the show for liquor. You know,
Yeah,
you got to
yeah.
pay. But oh my God, it was so fun. One of my favorite parts though was when he did the Roger Gilmore, and I made a joke about it, and you caught on right away, and just you started laughing, just the look on your face, man. But I mean, hey, man, trust me, I've been there many a time, and he
And
was still a lot of fun.
I've been there many a time too, but I was sober. I was looking at you being like Ralphus. Public service announcement: do not listen to our Creature of the Night episode
Whew.
unless you want to buy a plane ticket and murder Ian.
Yeah. Or maybe you're contemplating rehab, you know?
Ian,
It-
Ian telling us old fuckers how 1982 was like. Back then, he was still pooping in his diapers. Anyway,
yeah, it was like third grade, so yeah.
yeah, you didn't
Uh
know shit about shit, and you're telling us back then. Oh, that creature didn't sell shit. Yeah, neither did fucking Balls to the Wall, asshole. And still we all loved it. Anyway, enough of that. I enjoy Sick Ian because he ain't gonna be a blathering idiot. Talk
well,
about Roger Gilmore and shit.
we got plenty of time. Let's get to the comments because there are plenty from our
Yeah,
last
I'm
episode.
sure.
And
I haven't looked at it, but I'm sure there's a lot of them.
oh, well, we did get a lot of hate from between what I said about the Muslim community and what you said about the Cuban community. And most of them said, yes, we have our faults, but we hate Sammy Hagar too.
Yeah,
So,
in my defense, people that are getting offended to me talking bad about Cubans are stupid fucking Cubans.
and we're gonna get some good comments on this one. Good thing this ain't Almost Human. You get banned.
That's right.
Matt Gutierrez. 253 says, great show. Would you guys consider getting the hair metal guru as a guest on here or almost human? I would love to get hair metal guru on here. I believe you've talked to him, right, Ralph?
Yeah, we even talked recently, and I really like the guy, but dude, I've gotten to the point in my life where I don't like asking people on my show no more. I just feel weird doing it.
Yeah,
But hey, if you want to do it, but he's a nice guy. But I mean,
yeah.
seriously, I mean, he's the hair metal guru. I mean, come on.
No, I think he seems to have a pretty good sense of humor about
He's a
himself, and I
good,
would hope so
he's a
with
good
what he
dude.
listens to.
He's a
You
good,
know,
but yeah, Warren. And shit. I mean, he's not in the same ballpark as me.
yeah, no, but it'd be funny, if we talked about like a Pansy album and had him on. I'd be interested in it
I
because
love, I love to hear his take on poison and shit like that. Like,
oh
dude, I
yeah,
don't know. I'm a weird guy. I like to listen to people praise shit that sucks. I really do like that. I get a kick out of it. It's like,
well,
and
that's
and they're legit. Unskinny Bop is actually a good song to them. You know what I mean?
that bass line. Uh, but no, I mean, I think that's what would be cool is because even though we disagree with him on a lot, he does have the passion for it, and that I like. He's being legit. He likes that crap.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I'd be willing. I would reach out to him. I would ask him. I mean, he probably don't know who the fuck I am. He knows who Ralph is, but I'll give it a try. I'd have him on here.
I'll think about it. It's that dude. Look, Martin Popoff is a prime example. I love Martin
Yeah,
Popoff, and I goddamn love him on my show. But I always feel weird asking him on. And then,
yeah,
when a lot of time goes by, it's like, okay, and I always ask in a way like, look, can you schedule us in? If you can't, I just feel weird asking people
yeah,
to do my show. But I
yeah.
had a really good guest yesterday because of Tony Dio. We had
Yeah, you had Ken
Ken Mary.
Mary. Yeah.
Oh my God, that was like probably the greatest interview we've ever done. That,
Nice,
that
nice.
guy is awesome. Great Alice stories and Gene Simmons stories because he was in House of Lords. You know,
Right.
and Fifth Angel, a band I love. He's been in so many freaking men,
Flotsam
Flotsam,
and Jetsam, right?
Metal Church.
Yeah.
It goes on and on. Impellitteri. But wow. I mean, check out that interview. It was fucking awesome. It was amazing.
Yeah. Well, isn't it a lot of times on Almost Human, you definitely have, a lot of guests, but is that like Tony Dio and Wayne setting all that shit up?
Yep. Never
Yeah.
me. Never me.
Yeah. No, I feel you. I
I
feel
mean,
you.
well, actually, Wes Beach from the Plasmatics, who is
Yeah.
an actual fan of my channel. He's left many comments. Well, anyway, he recently, like a couple months ago, sent me a friend request, but under a different name. And I
Okay.
didn't know it was West Beach. And I don't add people that don't have mutual friends. I just don't.
Yeah.
And but he sent me a message too, going, "Hey man, it's West Beach." I was like, "Oh shit!" So I had him, and we got to talking for a little bit, and then I just threw it out there. I go, "Hey, if you ever want to do my live show, it would be an honor to have you." And he's like, "When is it?" I go, "Thursday." And he goes, "All right, just let me know." I go, "Can you do this Thursday?" Yeah. And dude, that was another amazing interview. What a great dude, West Beach. Amazing.
Nice.
It's
Awesome.
amazing. I mean, it's not amazing to the masses, but for me to have a person on my show that played guitar on a top 10 album of all time for me was a big deal. People would get the same people would get the same charge having Jimmy Page on their show or David Gilmour. Westby, if I would have got Jimmy Page or David Gilmour, I'd be just as psyched as having those two, including West Beach equally, because I love all three of them so much. And there you go.
Hey, look on our show. Probably the best interview we had was Gordon Gilbert Great the third,
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
Who knows
yeah.
but what a fucking episode that was. You know?
That was hands down the greatest show I've ever been on.
That shit
I
was
mean,
funny.
not counting Oh You Wait One Two that got lost, but
Yeah.
the one that survived, and actually that one's horrible as far as editing. because I had to raise the volume. One of us was extremely low, and I had to raise
Yeah.
the volume every time one of us talked, and it was so annoying to do, but damn worth it. The Gordon Gilbert show was fucking awesome. It was awesome.
All right. Ron Dimert says, great show, especially Ian's opinion on Muslims. So, oh, well, I got an ally. Trey Bon Events, great show, especially towards the end with Ralph's concert story about Roger Gilmore. So they're definitely fans. Jimmy James Schwartz, excellent show. One of my craziest concert memories involved a drunk guy landing a few rows behind me after falling from a balcony at a Tesla show. Of course, it happened at the Star Plaza Theater in Maryville, Indiana. Awesome. Zachary B98. You guys have not had to deal with Somalians. I'm from Minnesota. I'd rather deal with crazy Cubans any day over Somalians. I've seen them do some bizarre things. That Mark guy left a comment on the last episode that he wanted to fight me. What a buffoon. I know his MO. He was joking, in quotations. Such a Hagar fan, getting butthurt over some random bozo that said he was a crappy guest with bad teeth. Man, that guy is strange. Hope you guys talk about the Diano documentary. Not a suggestion. My girlfriend and I can't wait. Diano forever. Ralph, your old bandmate, is playing Minnesota. July 12th, Ryan Taylor with Nightcrawler is playing in a thrash band called Condition Critical. I'm going to the show. Mark, if you want to kiss my ass so bad, you could come. Do you still have Poser Holocaust and Melting Your Skull on CD? Thanks, guys.
Yes, I do. And I have Melting Your Skull on vinyl. Not many left. And Ryan Taylor's been in Condition Critical for about 12 years now.
Right on.
Great band, by the way. And yes, you'll have fun. I played with, we've done shows with Condition Critical in New York, down here in Miami. And they're good dudes, man. They're really good dudes, and they're good. So go check them out. You'll enjoy it. But I'm not going to get into that because that's personal stuff that I don't want to air here. And nobody gives a fuck anyway. What's the next comment?
Aaron Baker, 1995, says, Ralph hates for Cubans is my hate for Haitians. Can't drive, won't learn English. Some of the laziest motherfuckers around. So I think we opened a can of worms with our racial hatred.
Look, let's face it. Every race sucks. It doesn't matter. What race is actually good? Seriously, think about it. They're all fucked up. I mean, I guess the nicest one would be Canadians. That would be it. Everybody else are douchebags. Every other nation, especially Cubans.
Smash Dale says, Ralphus, you saw Slayer at the Felt Forum? Superb. That's my favorite bootleg video ever.
That is hands down one of the greatest bootlegs ever because they tore up the seats and threw cushions everywhere. It's all over that video. It's fucking wild. And,
nice.
and Tom Araya was super pissed because he knew he had to pay for all the chairs,
All right. Tara and Gapu, I probably pronounced that wrong. Ralphus was so high he got to see Roger Gilmore's guitar solo up close. Oh, he's never going to live that shit down. That's awesome.
Roger Gilmore.
Aaron Baker, again, after my comment on the last video, I went back and listened to Born Again. Zero the Hero kicks ass. Good. I'm glad you got into it.
Hell yeah. Yeah,
Heavy Metal Rules.
It's better than Paradise City and Her Black Wings by Danzig. Thank you.
That's right. Heavy Metal Rules says, great stories and great episode. It really does suck how going to concerts has changed over the decades. I blame fags like Sammy Hagar for fucking it up. I bet he goes to Cuba and sucks cock. And then goes to Epstein Island to lick ass and suck more cock.
I can't believe that escaped the censors. Let me go look, because Ian, I've given you the password and everything, but you're fucking ridiculous. You don't go in the YouTube studio. You can see comments that were banned, and I can't believe that one wasn't banned. Let me see if we have any banned ones because I haven't checked this shit forever.
Mm.
Read the next comment as I look. Man, but
All right.
that was a crazy comment.
All right. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna fuck this name up again. Same person I just fucked. Taryn Gapu. Gapu. I'm sorry, man. Uh, I am honored that Ian read my comment and totally butchered my name. Made my night. well, you got a double shot this weekend, man. Uh,
Oh my God,
smash.
Ian, there's like
Yeah.
50.
Are you
50.
serious?
Yeah, I can't sit here and read all this.
Oh man,
And
that's awesome.
I'm still scrolling.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Let me get this straight. You ban these comments or YouTube ban the
No,
comments?
what YouTube does is when somebody leaves a comment like the last one you read, it'll put
Yeah.
it in this folder going, I have to approve it. And I'm telling you, this is endless. Wait. No. I'm sorry. No, there's none. I thought I was looking at the comments, but no, there's none.
Oh, okay.
All right.
All
So
right.
I can't
All right.
believe that one was okayed. I can't believe it. That's wild.
Smash Dale
He
again.
said he said fag, sucking cock. He said all this shit. YouTube just don't. You know what it is? YouTube just don't give a fuck about us. They're like
Yeah,
fuck,
no.
fuck those Nazis. Let them. Let those Nazis have all their comments. Those fucking Cuban hating, fucking frog French hating bastards. Whatever.
We've got more comments than we got listeners. I don't know how, but that's how it works.
Yeah,
Uh,
the YouTube gave us three Ks.
Smash Dale again. First show. Slayer, Megadeth, Testament, Suicidal Tendencies, London, October 90. Awesome. The Koof Jackson. Love the episode. With, he wrote that. That's not me. With the crazy 2-hour detour before the show started. I was howling with laughter when Ralphus and Ralph on how BS shitty politics are. I agree the left and the right are working together to keep people divided. I won't say no more on politics in this post. I liked how through the whole thing Ian was actually being the straight guy through it and mostly kept his mouth shut while chuckling a bit. I loved hearing all about all your concert stories from back in the glory days to present. I can't wait for part 2. If I had only one nitpick, was Ralph and Ian cutting off Count Ralphus, but he seemed to be in mostly good spirits about it. Speaking on overrated,
Wait. I got to stop there. You know what it is with Count Ralphus? He's got a delay. His connection with us is a delay. It sounds like we're cutting him off, but what we see is him stop talking, then we start talking, but actually he's still talking when we come in. It's a delay thing. We didn't purposely cut him off.
Yeah. Well, that's good. That's good.
And
I
by
don't
the way,
remember doing that.
that's my friend Jackson Rowling from Canada. I love that guy. Just today, Jackson. He always watches us. What's the? I was listening to this today that he sent me. Dreams of Eschaton from Manila Road. He sent me his vinyl and it's fucking awesome. I was just cranking this today, Jackson. Thank you, my friend.
Awesome. Well, he keeps on saying, speaking on overrated, I had Operation Mindcrime overhyped to hell before I ever heard it by Queensryche fans who were sucking it off. When I downloaded it back in the day and I heard it, I was underwhelmed and disappointed. I did like it, but I still like it a lot, but it didn't deliver on the hype for me. Bought it years later. It's my 4th favorite album from them after The Warning. Anyways, I look forward to sharing part 2 of this episode. The 3 hours and 44 minutes flew by on this one. Awesome. Well, glad you enjoyed it, man.
There's a lot of people that don't like Mindcrime. They stop at Rage for Order.
Yeah.
Some stop at The Warning. Some stop at the EP. But I am amazed how. I mean, but if you really think about it, Queensryche never made an album that sounded like the last one. They were all so different. And Mindcrime was extremely different. but also Mindcrime was a little more straightforward, a little more accessible. Where Rage for Order was fucking weird, so was The Warning. Um,
Yeah.
so I can understand how people, yeah, man, it's not as good as the early stuff. And I also think the earlier stuff's better than Mindcrime, but I love Mindcrime except for Breaking the Silence and I Don't Believe in Love. Those two songs suck. The rest of that album I love.
Okie dokie. Kevin Lewis. My first concert was Kiss and AC/DC in 1977. Second
Fucking
was Ted.
badass. That's
Second
badass.
was Ted Nugent and Van Halen 1978.
Wow.
Third was Ted Nugent Scorpions and Blackfoot in 1979.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1 year later in 1980, I saw Ted Nugent, Pat Travers, and the Scorpions.
Nice.
That's awesome, though. God damn, that dude saw Bon Scott. I would love to smell his finger.
All right. Well, here's one for you, Ralph. This is from Ivan Stankovic. He says, first, I must reply to Ralph about me that I am an ex-communist dick lick jelly cake or something like that. I dig it that it kind of sense of humor and I like it. Communists suck anyway, but I have no hard feelings about that. But I will always stand for rock and roll is going to save the world thing and for the people who like heavy metal and hard rock. And I don't care where those people are coming from. They may come from Russia, India, South America, or the USA, but I know they like good music. And this people can't, I think you can tell English not his first language. I'm not retarded. Well, I am, but you can say retard, right? Anyway, and these people can't be bad. Just like all three of you, I think you are good and cool guys. Stay heavy, stay metal, and listen to Wasp song "Goodbye America."
I like him because he's an ex-commie.
Yeah.
Yeah, commies suck.
Jug Talk says, great episode, brothers. I miss doing shows with my dogs, Ralph and Ian. Count Ralph. Oh, that's
Mike Sears.
yeah. Count Ralphus is the man. Been watching him on Sea of Tranquility. Ian's stories was hilarious. Zachariah says, Cozy Powell's car versus a horse. R.I.P. LGJR1 says, great show. Hannah Montana hails. Love this episode. Y'all have some of the best concert stories I've ever heard, and quite a few I remember you talking about that weren't mentioned here, like Ian's first BOC concert. Yeah, but I mean, God, that's in about 30 episodes. This definitely deserves a part two, if you ask me. But of course, I don't call the shots. Rock on, brothers. No podcast will ever come close to the greatness of the RMCP. Heavy Metal Farmer, Oofa. Count Ralphus was almost down for the count by the end of this one. Great show, guys. And there's a couple of replies to this. Count Ralphus. Yeah, I was barely hanging on. Was drinking a few beers before the episode, then switched to whiskey, which would have been good for a 2-hour episode. But after 2 hours, I started to get hammered. Next time, I'll just stick to beer. Oofa.
Yeah. Hey, next time, let's not do the news.
And Scott Treachy says, fuck yeah, he was blasted, whiskey bent. Be cool or be podcast out. I played that Roger Gilmore album on the wall 4 times in a row, and this episode was still going on.
That was Al Horta.
Yeah, and Count Ralph has just said, oofa, with smiling faces. Richard Grillo says, hey guys, just responding to my post from the 80s Sabbath, just responding to my post from the 80s Sabbath show. I was listening to the podcast at work with my headphones, so that's why I recognize the music all the time. Ralph gets a great mix between you guys talking and the music. Also count, I'm from the Hudson Valley myself, awesome. And watch you on the squares, love both shows. Awesome.
It is great. It is great. I watch Count Ralphus on there too.
Al Horter again. I'm right there with Ralph on the AI thumbnails. Can't stand them.
Have you been noticing that, Ian?
What's that?
The AI thumbnails. They're so annoying, man.
Oh, for videos and shit.
Yeah, everybody's using these AI
Yeah,
thumbnails. They're fucking annoying. And it looks so dated already.
yeah.
No, it's fucking horrible. I hate it.
Penguin S1P1. Ian, I don't think being banned from Almost Human Live is a bad thing. It's basically Disney Channel for kiss tards. Oh my God, kids.
Hey, you know what? You know what? I should be insulted, but the truth is the truth. You know? I gotta swallow the truth on that one.
Zandig666. This episode is out of sight and endorsed by Kid Dynamite. Stay heavy and enjoy how fun and funny Wad and Ralph can be. I don't mean funny like clown, like they amuse me, man. Hold on, he's got some more stuff right
No,
here.
we are clowns.
By the way, Wad, it's a lot better when you just convince yourself it's not blacking out. It's just falling asleep where you stand. And finally, Smash Dale again. Yeah, the Wembley embarrassment definitely happened. I got offended. I got offered a ticket to that, and I said, no, I don't want it, man. Why not? Look, man, if you think I'm going to see Eddie Van Halen play before Bon Phony, you're tripping balls, mate. Okay, man, I get it. So, yeah, that's somebody else backing up the, the fucking Van Hagar opening up for Bon Jovi.
Yeah, it's
Funny
not,
how many
it's not
people
like
refuse to admit that.
it's not like you're gonna go see Eddie open for Bon Phony. You're gonna see Vangina open for Bon Phony. I mean, it's accumulation of four people that really make sucky music without David Lee Roth, you know?
Yep. Yep.
Oh,
I mean, it's just that bad to me. I mean, Van Halen without Dave is just as useless as Van Halen without Eddie.
speaking of which, Ian, you saw that fucking comment the other day, right?
What's that?
The guy's on our podcast page praising Sammy, and I even left.
Oh, yeah.
I left you a comment going, Ian, what happened to the question? Because people got to answer the question that you hate Sammy Hagar to be allowed
Right.
in. And this guy gets in, and I'm like, how do you get in here? And I love people that try to, talking down to you. This is why Sammy's good. Bitch, you haven't been listening. If anybody anywhere says anything positive about how Sammy's a good person, you know they're a fucking idiot. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about, and they definitely got to go. And thankfully, he left. I think he left on his own unless you banned him.
Oh, no. You saw I left the comment. I'm like, oh, you can't ban the gays during Pride Month. You get in trouble.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that was funny. Yeah, and he left because he was gay.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Not that he's gay, that he's a Hagar fan.
But it's all because he's a Hagar fan. There's many gays that hate Hagar and love Roth, and they're awesome.
Yeah. Yep.
But
All
if
right.
you're gay and love Hagar, you know that's going to be a toothy blowjob. You're going to feel too much teeth. You're going to feel too much teeth, and the buttocks when you bang it, it's so fucking loose. It's like you're banging a fucking air. That's Sammy Hagar gay people.
Speaking of Reform Rock podcast.
Go ahead.
No, I just Mark Taylor's gay and gives a toothy blowjob.
Oh, that's another thing. Look, Ian, I don't tell you what to do. And fine. If you want to do it, fine. I'm not going to stop you. But me, I'm done talking about that guy. 100% done. I don't want to talk.
Did something happen again?
Nothing happened.
Oh,
Nothing
okay.
happened. But I feel like it's gotten boring because he's, it's just gotten boring. And I don't want to talk about him anymore. I just don't. Yeah, you know what? Oh, now I remember. You know what it was? He left a comment to Johnny Vogan saying, they're always talking about me. And I was like, I know, and it sucks. And I said it there. I go, I'm going to tell Ian, man, let's stop talking about this guy.
All right. After this episode, because he comes into
Well,
my notes.
No. Go ahead. You can say what you want. I'm not chiming in anymore. I'm not chiming in. I'm not.
You take the high road. I'll take the low road.
No, I take the low road by not talking about him. Trust me.
Well, I'll take the lower road. I'll take the aqueduct. All right. All right. Let's get into the fucking news. And goddamn, it's been so long since our last episode. So there's going to be a shit ton of news. I'm just going to go through what sticks out and route the way. If you get tired, like, fuck the news, we'll cut it out. All right. Stanley and Simmons. They just released their fifth single from their new album that still doesn't come out till fucking August. Don't Leave Me Here Like That. I checked it out. Probably my least favorite of what they released so far, but I actually don't mind these two. Uh, nothing I'd normally listen to, and they'd have no shot in hell if they weren't who they were, if they weren't fucking Nepo babies. But I like a couple of their songs, and I think they sing all right. Did you check out the new one?
Yes, I didn't like it at all. Where the other ones I really liked, but
Yeah, that.
this new one I did not like at all.
Yeah, well, we're in agreement there. What do you know? All right. Let's see. What else is going on here? Anything worth a shit? Tesla's Dave Root explains why it's not really worth all the time and effort for a band to release another full length album of all new original material. And we've talked about this before, and I agree where monetarily it might not be worth it. Definitely not worth it, what it used to be. But I think true artists keep making fucking music, and the tired excuse, like D. Snyder always, oh, you play a new song, everybody goes takes a piss. But that's because the new song sucks. If the new songs stand up, people will like them. Because, I mean, we all went through this shit when these bands were young. They put out an album every couple years and, it was no issue, but they were putting out better music. I think if you can't put out anything that comes close to what you did in your past, then yeah, give up because, you're fucking spent. But there's plenty of other old musicians that continue to put out new music that, I feel is worth it. And I think that's a sign of somebody who's truly into this shit,
Well,
than a one-trick pony.
I have to disagree.
Okay.
The last time I saw Deep Purple, as you know, we both loved that last album.
Right.
Every time they played a song from that album, it sounded amazing, but people didn't care. They cared when they heard Space Trucker or Smoke on the Water. And
right.
But those killer songs went over everybody's head. They just didn't care, So no, the majority of the people don't care. That's what it is. And majority of people won't even sit. Deep Purple just came out on an album yesterday. Anybody that loves Machine Head and rock, those old school fuckers, even up to Perfect Strangers, they're not going to go check it out because they just don't want to hear new music. I'm talking about the Eddie Trunks of the world. Eddie Trunk is that way. They're just fucking. They don't care for new music. They just don't.
Right.
Me, I was loving every second of it when Deep Purple was doing those new songs. I was loving it, but everybody around me was like, eh. But then again, fuck everybody around me. I got to enjoy it. You know what I mean? So no, I don't think if you release a great album today, people are going to care. Only the hardcores like me.
Right, but I do think it's a sign of people who give a shit about what they do. And I think the Deep Purple shit stands up. I'm not talking about the masses, but I think there's a lot of bands out there and musicians who use as an excuse to just go out there and be a fucking legacy act because they can't write shit anymore. I mean, look how many bands who have come out and put shit out, and dude, they just don't have it anymore. They're just not writing the same quality as songs. But I think if this is really in your blood and this is, you're a true artist, there's a part of you that wants to keep going on, that wants to keep writing good songs and shit you believe in. And then there's also bands who, will put out something as an excuse to tour and not really put their heart into it. So, but if it's a band I like, man, I want to hear new music, but I want it to be good too. But not all of them can do it. Deep Purple's an exception.
Somebody left me a comment today. Hey, are you going to review the new Judas Priest Greatest Hits album? Why would I do that?
Hey, if they're paying for it. you know.
Oh yeah, yeah. If you pay me, I'll do it. I won't have
Yeah.
to study it.
Hey, guess what? I like Victim of Changes. Good song.
Yeah. Wow. Victim of Changes is on here.
Oh God. Mike Mangini has now joined Godsmack.
Yeah, that's wild.
Hey, man, pays the fucking bills. Sad to see. I hate when I see somebody like I respect join a band
No,
that I have
man. But you know what
no
I thought?
respect for.
You know what I thought was cool of him joining Godsmack? Have you seen the footage?
No, because I hate Godsmack.
Dude, he's back there playing the drums, and at the same time, he has a laptop there, and he's writing his autobiography while playing the drums at the same time. That's how easy that gig is for him.
I'm not the one that's so far away.
When I was a child.
Yeah, I mean, I don't begrudge anybody, trying to make a living, but I will say is, somebody, I have respect for him as a musician, even though he's been, I mean, fuck, I think he was in fucking Extreme for a while too. But motherfucker got to pay rent. It's just sad. I wish he would find, a good home.
Dude,
You know,
he'll be fine. He'll be a session player. Well,
oh yeah.
session players make good money, man.
Yeah, I mean, plus he taught, I believe he was a professor at Berkeley, like the East Coast one. So I
He,
think he has the teaching gig and,
yeah, yeah.
he has this.
He taught Ricky Rocket.
Oh, that's a terrible thing to blame on Mike Mangini.
I blame
Oh,
Ricky Rocket. He had the tools in his hand. He still couldn't do it.
oh God.
Mike
Uh,
Mangini was like, "Hey, dude, can you sit down while you're playing the drums?" And he goes, "Well, maybe tomorrow, but I got fucked in the ass this morning."
yeah. Maybe I can sit down, but I can't stop throwing up every time you sing.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. All right. What else we got going on here? This sounds fucking weird. Todd Latore says next Queensryche album will be based around a concept that happened on the band's debut LP.
Well,
So
the only concept on that AP it was very kick ass.
yeah, so I'm wondering like basically it's going to be a concept album based on a song that was on the EP.
Well,
That's what I
hopefully,
get out of it.
yeah, hopefully the whole album sounds like Judas Priest meets Iron Maiden, like the EP.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm a fan of the Todd Latore era. Nothing that's beat the classic shit, but definitely better than, your later day, when fucking Jeff Tate ran it into the ground. So
Better than anything after Mindcrime.
yeah, I'll definitely give it a listen to, for sure.
Yeah, of course. I thought the last album was the best one yet with Todd Delatory.
Yeah.
I
Uh
love that album.
Motley Crue's Nikki Sixx celebrates 25 years of sobriety. And I normally, me, I always bitch. I don't want to hear about your fucking sobriety. That's just admitting you're a fucking loser and you can't handle your drinks. But I got to give it to him. 25 years of still playing Motley Crue music and staying sober. That says something. Like, how can you go out there and do that and not get so drunk you don't realize you're playing Motley Crue songs? But then
Personally,
again, he's not. You know,
personally,
you know.
personally, I don't believe he did heroin back in the '80s, but I personally believe he does heroin now. That's why he's still playing Motley Crue music. And let me tell you something. I don't know how many years it's been that I quit drinking because of medical purposes.
Right.
Keep trying. I can't tell you how many. It's been a bunch of years. I can tell you that. But I ain't taking score because actually,
Yeah. No
it's
shit.
nothing to be proud of. I wasn't an alcoholic. I know, and I've said this before. I'm like, when they told me I couldn't stop, I had to stop drinking. When the doctor said, "You got to stop drinking," I said, "Man, that's a
Okay.
bummer. It's a bummer because I enjoyed my Jack and Coke twice a month. I wasn't a drinker, so I was a social drinker. I didn't drink all the time. So for me to quit drinking was not bad. When it comes to like an alcoholic, then I feel those fuckers had a hard time. I don't. I do miss drinking. I'm not lying. I ain't gonna lie about it. But I never went through a withdrawal, is what I'm trying to say. And I don't know how many fucking years it's been. because I don't give a rat's ass. And a guy that says he wrote a novel on heroin, I ain't gonna believe any fucking thing he said.
All right. Well, I'm going to let you talk on this. I got to take a piss. But Rush's Geddy Lee was diagnosed with laryngitis and bronchitis, and they had to postpone their two Dallas Fort Worth shows. Go ahead and talk about what you've seen about, the since the Rush reunion and what you think. I'll be right back.
Well, for those that follow my channel, I made a video about it, and a lot of people got mad at me. I said, the chick's great. She did everything great. I ain't complaining how good she played. She played amazing, but I felt like she played too hard. Like she hit the drums too hard. And yeah, I got a lot of comments from people saying, oh, Neil hit just as hard. You're wrong. And then when the smoke was clear and everybody was done saying how wrong I am, I'm going to have to reevaluate the video and say, she hit too fucking hard. If you don't agree with me, I don't care. I think she hit too fucking hard. Okay? And also, I don't know, I could be wrong on this, but I think she's a whore. Yep. I think that Geddy Lee and Alex Lifeson and that new guy that they got, they all fill every hole. Every hole that she has is filled. Every hole. Because she's a whore. But that's just speculation on my part. I may be wrong. Maybe she did get the job because she's a good drummer. But I'm thinking it's a combination of her being a good drummer and sucking a good dick.
Whoa! I came back right at the right time.
Yeah, well,
Uh,
and also related to what Ian brought up, the reason why Getty's got bronchitis and all that shit, because he got it from her because she's a whore with bronchitis.
I knew you were going to go there.
I didn't know I was going to go there. And I'm only speculating, by the way. I'm not saying that's the way it is. It's just a speculation on my part that she's a cum guzzling, cum dumpsting whore.
uh, well, I will say from what I've heard, I think it's fantastic, man. I don't know. They don't come here till I think October. I don't have tickets already. It'll probably be sold out. I know the prices are insane. Uh, but my son never got to see Rush back in the day, and he's
And he
really
never will. And he never
yeah,
will.
yeah. No, you're right. You're right. But I from what I've seen, I'm more than satisfied, and I'd be happy to go to these shows. I mean, better than that fucking what I've seen of the Triumph shit. That's for damn sure. Uh, and
Look, to me, it's the same shit. It's the same. I went to the Triumph show. It
right,
was
no,
good.
no,
It was good, but it wasn't Triumph.
no, I know, but what I'm saying from a sound standpoint, what I've seen of the Rush clips sounds a lot more closer to Rush to me than what I saw of the Triumph. What I saw of the Triumph, I'm like, yeah, it's neat, but I'd rather listen to a Triumph record than pay top dollar to see that. Where the Rush, I thought Geddy was comparable to when we saw him last on the final tour, and I thought Alex was playing good. I think she's incredible on drums. So I mean, I think it'd be a more rewarding show to go see live than the Triumph. Just my opinion.
No, it's more rewarding when we saw him in New Orleans in
Well,
2015.
I'm saying what we have now, and
Fuck what we have now.
present.
It's a
Okay.
tribute band. Plain and simple. People
Okay.
going to see Rush, get your head out your ass. It ain't Rush without Neil Peart. It ain't Rush
Hey,
without
tell that to John Rutsey.
I just said, and Rutsey. It's not Rush.
Yeah.
You need
Yeah.
both of them.
Yeah. I mean, I hope they would not put out a new album under the Rush banner, which I don't think they're going to. But then again, fuck, as much as I love Neil Peart, I love that first Rush album is one of my favorite Rush albums. So
Me too. Yeah, I love it. I saw a couple of weeks ago, it really offended me. And I don't get offended much, but I became all woke and shit.
I knew it.
Some motherfucker made a Mount Rushmore with Rush. Mount Rushmore with Geddy Lee, Alex Lifeson, Neil Peart, and the whore. No John Rutsey. No John Rutsey on Mount Rushmore, which John Rutsey at least fucking played on an album. Fucking what was John Rutsey was the front man of Rush. Wasn't
Yeah.
Geddy Lee. John Rutsey was the one talking between songs. You don't add John Rutsey on fucking Mount Rushmore and you fucking add that whore.
Yeah. Well, I know who posted that, but you don't want to talk about him no more, so I'll keep going.
Yeah.
All right, next story. Ugly Kid Joe is going back to metal. Thank God. On the upcoming album. All these songs reflect a heavier rock metal sound. They're going back to metal. Have you ever heard metal, Ugly Kid Joe? I haven't.
No.
No, but God damn it, I can't see these motherfuckers without thinking about the incredible Aaron Camaro. And
Yeah.
I thought it was so
Yeah.
funny. I saw a post today. Aaron loves Ugly Kid Joe. They're doing like a little reunion in Nashville this week of Rockin' Pod. But of course, it's people who live in the Nashville area that can make it. But I hear, according to a post that Tracy put up, Tracy Andrews, who took over for Chris Czynszak and was also part of all the early Rockin' Pods, they're going to be talking to a new investor about Rockin' Pod and possibly, the future. I think we really need this if there's going to be. And I thought it was so funny. Camaro put a post on the post and said, Ian Wildley, get on a plane. And I'm like, I don't think I would do good with investors. You don't bring me out there to sell that shit. That'd be like showing them the tape of you and me at the first Rockin' Pod. We're not going to track the masses. We're going to track the asses, but we'll put asses in seats, goddammit. But hope it works out, man. I would love to, have at least one more Rocket Pod with you and me. It really sucked not having you there at the last one, even though I totally understand why you weren't there. But it'd be nice to have a good swan song to go out on, and all these people like, I'm gonna go next year. I tell you what, if there's ever one more Rockin' Pod, motherfuckers better sell whatever you got to sell and do whatever to get there, because that'll probably be it. But who knows? Tim Ripper Owens admits he's been having some vocal issues as of late. He says, as a singer, it happens. Uh, hey, I say hats off to him for being upfront about it. Uh, have you ever seen Tim Ripper Owens outside of Judas Priest, Ralph?
Once I saw the Three Tremors.
Oh, okay.
It was
Okay.
him, the Conklin from Jack Panzer, and what's his face from Cage, Sean Peck. I love Cage, but let me not say anything about Sean Peck.
Okie dokie. Well, I hope his voice gets better. And again, hats off to being honest about struggling with shit and talking about it. Um, Here's something I saw that sounded goddamn good. And if you haven't seen it, Ralph, I highly suggest you check it out. The Dead Daisies did a one-off show with Glenn Hughes coming back. Glenn Hughes joined the band after they'd been together for a while. Then I think Karabi came back. But they had a show booked that for whatever reason Karabi couldn't do. So Glenn Hughes came back for this show. And they did a couple different sets. They did, this was in, I believe, St. Charles, Illinois. First set was all Dead Daisy stuff, which honestly I'm not that familiar with. I have it, but I've never really checked it out. But then they did a set of all Deep Purple shit with Glenn Hughes. And wow, was it fucking good. I mean, and not just Glenn Hughes, but, Doug Aldrich, who's, incredible on guitar, and the rest of the band. It's really good. And I think if you go to the Dead Daisies YouTube page, they have just the Deep Purple shit you can check out. Highly recommend it, man. I watched about half of it this morning. It was really good. Really good. Have you seen it, Ralph, or no?
Now, I don't care for the Dead Daisy. That whole thing is because one of the members of the Dead Daisies is like in a billionaire family.
Oh
and
yeah.
they have a private jet. That's how they're able to afford Glenn Hughes and you know,
Oh, I didn't know that.
yeah, it's extremely rich. They travel around in private jets. They live the big rock star lifestyle off the money of this dude in the band's family, and
Oh.
that's
Nepo babies.
yeah, that's the whole thing about Dead Daisies. But more power to them, you know. They're uh,
Oh.
they're they're a good band for those fools that think rock ain't dead. They're like, see, Dead Daisy around, then rock that proves rock ain't dead.
Okay, well, I know they're not doing that good because they're not playing Chicago. They're playing St. Charles, Illinois. It
Oh,
tells you all you need to know.
they can play Chicago, no problem. Throw a couple
Well,
million over there.
but to sell, to
They
sell it
play
out.
they play down here many times.
uh, All right. Well, like I said, I don't know much about the original material, but I'm just saying from a guitar playing aspect, man, what Doug Aldrich was doing with the Deep Purple shit sounded really good, and Hughes was in great voice, so I
Yeah,
think you would like that. You
I'm
know.
sure it's good. Them doing cover songs is fine. You know.
Yeah. All right. Well, here's something. I'd be curious to go back to this album, and if memory serves me, you've had a couple of your, on Almost Human, your track by tracks, where you've had to include this album. Haven't heard it, and I would say close to 30 years. But I remember when I finally heard it, probably a couple years after it came out, I liked it a lot better than I thought it would. But Phil Collin was looking back on Def Leppard's Slang album, said we really needed to change things and shake things up. Um, what do you think of that? Did you hear it when it first came out?
No,
Uh, no.
no.
Well, listening to it now, what do you think?
Oh, it's horrible. It's
Yeah,
terrible. I mean, after Hysteria, I was done, but Morbid Curiosity made me listen to Adrenalize.
yeah,
Then I was beyond done. So I
right,
never listened to a Def Leppard album after that. But now I've listened to every single Def Leppard album thanks to the donations I got. Every
right.
one of them, and they're all putrid. I would say the worst one is one called X, but
Yeah,
they're all. I just recently did the self. They have a self-titled album,
yeah,
and the first song on the self-titled album is called "Let's Go." That's
yeah. I heard that song. It's terrible.
fucking horrible. Yeah, Def Leppard is just they're shit. They've been shit since the drummer lost an arm and all the other members lost their balls.
Yeah. I mean, I would have to listen to it again, which would be a task. I know a lot of people, if they talk about it, they say like the worst ones have been X and Euphoria. Um, Much like you, I gave up. I was already done before Adrenalize came out, but I checked it out just to see, and I was like, oh yeah, I did the same thing. I've never bought a Def Leppard album after Hysteria.
Same
You
here.
know,
Same here. I
I
bought Hysteria. I bought it. I was
Yeah, yeah, I did too. Well,
I
I
was
loved
pissed.
Women. I when Women was
Me
the
too.
first single, which bombed. I was like, okay, I like this, and
That
and
was
then yeah,
yeah. I bought it because of that song, thinking the rest
yeah,
of the album would be that good.
yeah, and for those of like if you weren't around, I can speak on this, unlike Creatures of the Night. I was there, man. When Women came out, it wasn't well received, and the album didn't do well. It wasn't until Poured Some Sugar on Me, which was damn near a year later, and then it blew up.
And same
Um,
thing happened to AC/DC Back in Black and Guns N' Roses. And all three of those albums are like diamond records. Ain't that wild?
yeah,
Like
yeah,
these diamond albums were flops when they first. Dude, AC/DC, Black and Black was not a hit. It was like maybe 10 months later when you shook me all night long, it blew it up. And I'll never
yeah.
forget it. This is me back then, 1980. They came here on the Back in Black tour at the West Palm Beach Auditorium. Way too far for me as a little kid with no car. I couldn't go because it was way too far. But then Back in Black blew up, and the fucking radio stations were doing petitions to get AC/DC back here. And I
Wow.
loved Back in Black when it was brand new. But now it's like, oh, since you shook me all night long, such a big hit, we want them back. And they never did come back. Till for those about to rock, I got to see it. But Back in Black was a flop, and so was Def Leppard and Guns N' Roses. Guns N' Roses was about a year too.
Yeah, I remember. Like I liked it right away when I saw the video for Welcome to the Jungle, but I know it was released in '87, but it really didn't blow up till '88.
I owned
Really, yeah.
I actually owned it originally on cassette. My friend Ronnie
Did
had
you
it.
have the original cover on cassette?
No,
Or okay,
it was still the other cover. But
okay.
my friend Ronnie got it when it was brand new, and it was not the original cover either. The original cover was, I think, like banned in a week. Didn't really,
Yeah, probably.
but my point is, I had the cassette and I would wear it out, and I remember vividly thinking to myself, this song Paradise City would be a huge radio hit if it ever got exposure, but it never will. It'll never take off. But I always thought Paradise City would be a hit with the great with the right promotion. And look, I was fucking right. But
Yeah.
I did not predict Sweet Child of Mine because even back then I was like, I like it more than Anything Goes and what's that other one? Think About You. Those are the two.
Oh,
Those are two clunkers.
oh, I love those.
Oh, I
Love
hate
those.
those songs. I hate those
But
songs.
I remember, it's funny. I just watched the movie again the other night. A little known horror movie called Bad Dreams. It was like a real Nightmare on Elm Street ripoff. I mean, like really bad. But the closing song for the credits is Sweet Child of Mine. And this is before it was released as a single and it hit. And I was reading up on it, and Guns N' Roses did a video where it was a totally different Sweet Child of Mine video where they're mixing in like footage from the movie and everything. It was one of those kind of videos, to help sell the movie and shit. And I think they just lost budget and it ended up not releasing it and everything. And then later, probably like a month or two later, it was released as a single, and they did the Sweet Child of Mine video that everybody knows. But yeah, I remember, I had it, and not a lot of people like knew what I was playing. And then Sweet Child of Mine changed everything. So yeah, it
My
shit
friend,
happens.
my friend had two cassettes: Appetite for Destruction and the first Faster Pussycat, which was brand new.
Yeah.
That I didn't like from the get go. I was like, yeah, I don't like this album, but I love that. And I knew Guns N' Roses because I saw them 2 years prior in the clubs in Troubadour. And when my friend had, I was like, oh my god, I saw that band in
Yeah.
California. So and then the album just blew my mind. They must have played. I actually did look at the set list of the show I saw because it's on setlist.com. It was
Yeah.
the first time they ever played Paradise City was the show I saw.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, Slayer announced their 18th studio album, Throne of Thorns, and shared the title track. Did you check it out?
Who?
What did I say? Striper? Striper?
I thought you said Slayer.
Yeah, I probably did.
I love that video they just released. I thought was great. It was because I haven't been happy with Striper, honestly. The last two albums were kind of like, eh. This one, it was good. It was good. I liked it.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't checked it out, and but well wishing Michael Sweet. He keeps battling whatever the fuck he's got. I can't
He's
remember
got
what it is.
cancer. He's got
Yeah.
throat cancer.
Hope he does well. We were lucky you got to interview him, but I got to meet him and talk to him a little bit. He was a really nice guy, so I can't say anything bad, even though I'm not a huge fan. He was a very nice guy, and he loves David Lee Roth more than Sammy Hagar. So got to
Oh
respect
yeah,
that shit.
yeah. I've seen those posts.
All right. Let's see. Anything else interesting? Man, seems like a really bitter breakup with Last in Line. They fired Andrew Freeman, and man, now Vinny Appice, like he refuses to talk about it and shit. and they're in potential works with a new singer, but the contracts aren't signed. I know it's a very minor band and most people don't give a shit, you know. I mean, it's one of those, it's almost like a Dead Daisies. They put out new music. Nobody gives a shit about that. It's like play the Dio songs, you know. Play
The
it,
first,
it
yeah, the first album was great, Heavy Crown. The others,
yeah.
not that good, not that good.
And then it's like, you know, and really who gives a shit, you know, fucking Jimmy Bain ain't there anymore. You know, I mean, Phil Sousan or whatever, you know, yeah, he's fine and all, you know, played with Ozzy. I wish they would have kept Claude Schnell. I like
Well,
Claude
yeah, I
Schnell.
mean that shows you how important Jimmy Bain is. I mean, listen to
Yeah.
that first Last in Line album. You know, after that they didn't have Jimmy Bain, and you can tell. You can
No, no,
totally.
no, no, no. No, they had Jimmy or
Jimmy Bain
Jimmy.
died on the first album.
Oh, yeah, for Last in Line, the band. Yeah, I'm sorry. I thought you meant the album. Yeah, he didn't play in the second one?
No, no, he was dead before
Okay.
the second one was ever done.
Okay.
I saw them too. I saw the very last show with Jimmy Bain.
Yeah. Yeah.
Saw the very last
That's
show.
it's fine. I was watching this video on Rainbow, and they were talking about how Jimmy Bain was fired because Richie Blackmore said he was just like a basic bitch on bass, and he wanted somebody who was more of a, you know, virtuoso. But man, I tell you what, Jimmy Bain's great in my book. You know, played on a lot of
Ama-
albums I love.
Amazing bass player, but I gotta say, I'd say Bob Daisley's better. His replacement was better, even though Bob Daisley hardly played on, or if he did, I don't think he even played on Long Live Rock and Roll. I think that was all Richie. But yeah, Bob Daisley didn't play on Long Live Rock and Roll, but
Oh,
his
I
bass
don't know
player
that.
on those first two Ozzy albums,
Oh
unbelievable.
yeah, oh yeah,
Great, great bass player.
and what a songwriter too. You
Oh,
know.
amazing songwriter.
All right. Well, Deep Purple's Don Airey said musicians are all hopeless at everything. The only thing we can do is play instruments. And I got to tell you what, I don't know if you've listened to it yet, um, but I'm loving this new Deep Purple album, Splat. And one of the real standout, probably the two biggest standouts to me on the album are Simon McBride, who played on the last album, the guitar player, and Don Airey. I thought Don Airey's keyboard work on this latest album, Splat, is incredible. Have you checked out the whole album yet, Ralph?
No, but I will. I love the last one, so
Yeah,
um,
I like, and again, it's much like Equals One was with me. When I first, you know, they kind of did the same thing. They released three videos before that album came out, and they didn't really grab me. I was just like, yeah, new Deep Purple, no Richie Blackmore. Okay. But then when I heard it as an album and repeated listens, it really grabbed me, and we both agreed the year that was released, that was our album of the year. And I did love Angry Young Man or Angry Boy or whatever the first one was. The second two didn't grab me as much, but when I listened to it, you know, in a context of an album, as all music should be, um, I loved it. I thought it was really, really fucking good. I just watched a review this morning that Martin Popoff did of the album, and while he liked it, he didn't like it as much as me. I really loved it. I listened to it today, like in between listening to the album we're going to review. Listen to it again. I absolutely loved it, and I hope you dig it too, man. Fucking A,
check
Deep
it out.
Purple.
I'll check it out tonight.
All right. Blaze Bailey says he's trying to work it out so he can attend Iron Maiden's Rock and Roll Hall of Fame introduction ceremony, which is going to be kind of weird because the band itself isn't going to be there. I always find that weird when, like, you know, you got one member who's definitely a lesser member or a lesser known member is there, but nobody that everybody wants to see. But I am happy for him as much as I think the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is kind of irrelevant. But for him to initially be not included because of the elitists, you know, and Iron Maiden putting their foot down and saying, no, you're going to induct this motherfucker. Uh, I'm very happy for Blaze Bailey. I think that's incredible because Years from now, three nerds are going to know who Blaze Bayley is because he's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So I'm
Nobody's gonna
happy.
care. Nobody cares for. Only nerds care for that fucking place. And I got to tell you, the other day, my friend Emilio, he came by, picked me up, and took me to his house, and he had wherever station Eddie Trunk's on, XM Radio, whatever the fuck.
Yeah,
And
serious.
we're listening to Eddie Trunk on the way to his house. And Eddie Trunk, of course, he's like that. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And, it gets me, these fucking idiots. You complain about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame every fucking year, yet you care about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It's like caring about your abusive husband. It's like, why care? Well, anyway, he went off on a tirade about Dennis Stratton. Dennis Stratton, they asked him to go, and he's like, well, I got to get Maine's management agree, and then I'll go. And then he went off on Dennis Stratton. That guy only played on one album. Nobody knows who Dennis Stratton is. Blah, blah, blah. I mean, he was totally going off on Dennis Stratton. He's not one to represent Iron Maiden, right?
Oh God.
We get to my friend's house. And, I hang out at my friend's house for a little bit. Go back out to the car. Eddie's still babbling. But now he's talking about Rush. And he goes, oh, when they played Working Man, they showed John Rutsey on the screen. And I thought it was so great. And then he went off on how great John Rutsey is. Excuse me, he only played on one Rush album. You fucking hypocrite. What a complete bag of ass hypocrite. Fuck Eddie Skate. That guy's a
And what's crazy is John Rutsey was just important to that first Rush album as Dennis Stratton was important to that first Maiden album. Dennis Stratton was very important to that album.
Dude, listen to his solo on Strange World. I'll put it above any solo Adrian Smith's ever done. That solo is the shit.
Yeah, no, I'm a big fan of Dennis Stratton and his contributions to that. That album would not sound the same without him.
Just like the first Rush wouldn't sound the same without John Rutsey.
Exactly, and that first Rush album is fucking amazing.
You got Neil Peart to play on that first Rush album. It wouldn't be as good. Neil Peart was more proggy. He couldn't play that straightforward shit as good as John Rutsey.
Yeah, no, I agree. Well, KK Downing, who it looks like I'm definitely going to this one because I'm going to see KK open up for Wasp. They're coming here in October, and I'm going, even if I got to go by myself, which I don't think so because we got a couple listeners that live around here, and I think my son's going to want to go too. Anyway, KK Downing open for Wasp, but says there's going to be a live debut of two Judas Priest classics during that tour that he hasn't played previously. So I'm excited about that. There's no real hint at what two they are. I mean, any one of them is going to be welcomed.
I know the songs actually.
Oh, you do? Okay, what are they?
Love Zone and Johnny Be Good.
Oh, love me some Love Zone. Love Zone.
You do? You like that song?
Fuck no.
You know who does?
I thought we were going to talk about that guy.
It shocked me. Fucking Ruben. He's like, what are you talking about? Love Zone rules. I love Ruben. He's such a whack job.
Oh shit. I can't remember. Did you see KK's Priest?
Yeah, I saw them headline with Burning Witches and LA Guns.
And how was it?
Better than Judas Priest.
Wow.
Unbelievably good. They did they did the Sentinel, Beyond the Realms of Death, a lot of the old shit. It was amazing.
All right. Well, let's see if we got anything else going on. I'm going through here. It's a very minor story, but I think it's kind of funny. LA Guns Phil Lewis is explaining his new look. I'm never going to dye my hair again. I don't think anybody gives a fuck what Phil Lewis from LA Guns looks like when he comes out on stage now. But he is dressing kind of funny,
I got to tell you a funny story about Phil. Well, there's two funny stories. He likes to cut on the spoon. Did you know that?
He likes to come in a spoon.
Yeah.
I did not know this one.
That was a thing on the old metal sludge board, and they even had pictures of him coming in his food. But that's not the wacky. This one's even wackier. Well, to me,
Yeah.
I ain't even gonna mention his name. There's this guy I know, and he's a fuck. He always gets mad at me and keeps deleting me on Facebook because he's just a strange guy. Well,
Oh, I
anyway,
thought we were going to talk about him.
anyway, when we saw KK's Priest and LA Guns open, he was filming it, and Phil Lewis slapped that cell phone out of his hand, right? And then
Nice.
and then this idiot actually went to the police and filed a report against Phil Lewis, right? The the
And the
the
police were like, "Who's Phil Lewis?"
Yeah, exactly. Well, they kind of they dropped it, but Phil Lewis did find out. So what Phil Lewis did was he wrote him, and he sent me the screenshot. Phil Lewis sent the guy a thing apologizing. Look, I'm sorry I did this. And he replied to Phil Lewis going, I don't care about your fucking apology. You don't treat your fans that way. And then he tells me, he goes, dude, do a story on this. I'm like, no, I'm not, So he deleted me again. I'm not his friend no more.
Oh
What an
god.
idiot. Fuck that guy.
But I think it's kind of funny because the thing about his looks, because Phil's like in his 60s, might be late 60s now, because he was kind of long in the tooth when he joined LA Guns. He had already been in Girl and shit like that, and he stopped dyeing his hair, and I'm all for that, man. I'm going gray as a motherfucker. I ain't dyeing shit. Uh, but his choice of clothing is kind of funny. But again, it's like it's Phil Lewis from LA Guns. Who gives a shit? You know what I mean?
I,
It's like
look,
this isn't like when Metallica cut their hair and started wearing makeup. It's a little late to give a shit. But him going out like with the suspenders, like he's wearing like dress clothes mixed with the gray hair. I don't know if that really goes with like the sleaze rock aesthetic of LA Guns, but who gives a shit? I mean, he still sounds great. I mean, he still sounds like Phil Lewis, and that's the only thing that matters, in
I
my
think
opinion.
Phil Lewis is grossly underrated, actually, as a vocalist. He
Very good singer.
screams. He screams. He's great. I'm not an
Yeah.
Alex fan after the first album. I thought the first album was phenomenal. I don't
Yeah.
care for what he did afterwards, but his voice is fucking awesome. He's got an
Yeah.
awesome
No, I am a fan of the first three LA Guns.
bag.
Yeah. No. I really enjoy them. And these later day ones, since, he got back with Tracy Guns, I check them out when they come out. And the one thing I like is his voice. I don't think the songs are there,
They're
but
horrible.
yeah, but his voice, I mean, he still sounds good. And clips that I've seen live, he still
Yeah.
motherfucker can still sing for his age. So hats off to him, man.
Yeah. When I
Whatever he
saw him
wants to do.
open, for KK's Priest, he was badass.
No, that's awesome.
I was pissed they didn't do One More Reason. That's my favorite LA Gun song.
Oh man, I can't imagine an LA Guns show where they don't do One More Reason.
Dude, I've never seen an LA Guns show where they didn't play that till when they opened for KK's Freeze. But the good part about it, they didn't play Ballad of Jane either.
Oh God, I would love I never cared for that, and I love that album. I love Cocked and
Well,
Loaded.
I hate that
I
album.
I never cared for fucking Ballad of Jane, man. It
I
just
like
seems so.
I like Rip and Tear, but the rest of that, I
Oh,
want to
Rip
be
and
your
Tear,
man.
great song.
I want to be your man.
Oh, I love that song.
Oh God, you really do love cock.
Yeah, you can't get
You're
enough. Yum yum
you're
yum.
you're one of those Sammy Hagar faggot fans.
Hey, let's not push it here.
Uh,
Uh, all right, here's a band that's saying they're sharing a music video for their upcoming album. This is one of the worst fucking bands I've ever seen live. Oh my God. I literally wanted to stab my fucking ears. Is the Who. Not the Who, but the HU Who. They're like some fucking
what?
You never heard of these motherfuckers? They're like Polynesian or some kind of fucking shit.
And they call themselves the Who, like spelled like that. Still, it's
No,
pronounced the
no,
Who.
no. Yeah, yeah. It's the HU, but it's pronounced who. The Who. Uh,
Wow, that's insane.
dude, they did lots of tours with Maiden, all over fucking Europe and across the states when they did the Somewhere in Time tour. And oh my god, it's just like this tribal fucking shit and like oh my god, fucking terrible.
I'm gonna start a band called the Beatles with Beetle.
Always reminds me of my dad getting that the Best of the Beatles album. That was Pete Best. Oh, he was pissed. My poor grandma didn't know any better though. Oh shit. All right, what else we got going on? Uh,
That's about it. We should get into the Pretenders.
all right, yeah, yeah, I'm down with that. Fuck this shit. Let's get to it. And well, before we get into this, I want to talk about some potential upcoming episodes because it has been a while. I don't like taking these long breaks, but fucking sometimes life happens, and it's all on me. It was all shit dealing with me, nothing with Ralph that we haven't done a show in a while. Um, but one I mentioned to Ralph that I thought sounded really interesting was like 5 albums, and it doesn't have to be like top five, but 5 albums that we like that aren't loved by the fans or weren't popular uh, albums. I think that'd be something really interested in. And another one I'd like to do. I've seen, I watch a lot of YouTube shit when I'm at work, and I see a lot of the different whatever these YouTubers are into. They do hot takes. Either their hot takes or hot takes from their fans that are basically unpopular opinions. And I thought that would be a really interesting one to do. And but I don't know how it would work because a lot of these, they make the videos where they announce it and then people write in the comments to that particular video their hot takes. Or we could do like a poll on the Facebook page, or we could do both. Like, you leave your hot takes as a comment, or we do a poll, and then Ralph, you and I, talk about them. Like somebody like tries to defend, like I think Kiss, Hot in the Shade is the greatest Kiss album of all time, and we discuss like people's wacky opinions and shit. I think that would be a fun one.
Yeah, that
Um,
sounds fun.
Also, we did the '80s era of Black Sabbath. Man, a lot of people like that episode. I think that would be fun to do. There's a lot of other like '80s era. Um,
Freeze.
Judas Priest, and it doesn't have to be just like '80s era of this band. It could be '70s era or a different era. Just different bands. That have like will use that decade and what they did. I think that shit's a lot of fun, and it keeps shit differently. Different shit for the show keeps it fresh. Um, so let us know in the comments for this episode, like, which one of these speak to you, or what would you like to do? Or like, say we do a hot takes. Would you like to leave your comments on YouTube? Would you like to start a poll on our Facebook page? Let us know. Would that be something that's better as a live episode? I love doing our live episodes, but it's so hard to get. It's not like Almost Human. Like it's known like every Thursday you're doing a live show. So people have it set up where when we do a live show, it's kind of like sporadic and last minute, and we get a fraction of our regular audience that can commit to that certain time. But I think that would be a fun one too. We could maybe even mix it up, do a live show where we're reading comments that people have left, plus people who are in the chat room could like throw in their fucking shit. But just different stuff. I mean, we've been doing this shit for a long time, so let's look at ways to keep it fresh and keep it going. But this one that we're doing today, this was Ralph's idea. He's like, "Hey, I ain't got time for that fucking 5 album bullshit you were talking about." He's like, "You like the Pretenders?" I was like, "Fuck yeah, love the Pretenders." But I got to admit, I was like a Pretenders greatest hits kind of a guy. Um, Pretenders have been around since I can remember. I mean, really. I mean, when this album came out in '80, I was 6 years old. Uh, Heard them on the radio then. Heard them on the radio the rest of my life. Certain songs you still hear to this day. But I never really dug deep with them. And it wasn't until I heard a song on this album that I went and got their whole discography. And there's still a lot of it I don't know. But there was one song, and we'll get to it when we get to it. Then I was like, you know what? I need to check this band out more than just the greatest hits. But always, loved them. I never. Sometimes I'm like weird with chick singers, like, that's chick shit. There's something about Chrissy Hines that I just think transcends. She's always been a cool chick, a different chick, and I've liked the songs. But Ralph, were you like, is this something new for you, or have you been into the Pretenders for a long time?
Totally new. Though I've always been a fan, and I'll talk about the song when we get to it, from the first album. And I ended up getting the first album, I believe, a hand-me-down. And I listened to it and I was like, yeah, it's a good album, but I never put it on again. Fast forward, like not even a month ago, somebody asked me to put this album on a track by track, their third album called Learning to Crawl, right? I don't know this album, right? I was blown away how good this album was. Now, this is the first album without the classic lineup because two of those members died.
Right.
But this is a great album. And, a lot of this was with James Honeyman Scott. The big hit on this album is Back on the Chain Gang. That
Right.
song's about James Honeyman Scott. And the way that song starts, it's purposely played like James Honeyman Scott. And believe me, I fell in love with this album that when I went back to listen to the first album, oh my God, I couldn't stop playing it over and over and over. I was like, this is a genius fucking album. Genius. I just bought, I have it on CD, Pretenders 2, that is almost as good. Not quite there, but it's almost, that second album is fucking amazing. It's amazing. Goes to the Town. But
Message Love.
Yeah, love it, love it. So I became now there has always been one Pretender song I fucking loved off the first album that I discovered on extremely early MTV. The seventh video ever played on MTV was Brass and Pocket. That was the seventh video ever played. But it's not Brass and Pocket that I'm talking about. It's another video they made for this album that, my God, is still like my favorite Pretender song. But that may change because there's songs on this album. Honestly, it's amazing how well gelled this band is. It's kind of like the Ramones and the Sex Pistols. Not the most technically proficient, but they wrote songs better than people that were technically proficient. You know what I'm saying? It's just amazing music. The bass playing is unbelievable. The guitar playing is it's out of the stratosphere. Johnny Marr, amazing guitar player from the Smiths, cites James Honeyman Scott as a huge influence. And let me tell you, you listen to James Honey Scott's playing, you hear the Smiths all over it. All over it of what he's playing. That's Johnny Marr. That's what Johnny Marr ended up doing later. It was new. What James Honeyman Scott did on guitar is like maybe the most underrated guitar player in the history of music, I think. Because I think what he did was, who was a big fan of James Honeyman Scott? Edward Van Halen. Loved them.
No shit, I didn't know that.
I have pictures of them together. David Lee Roth, and the greatest interview David Lee Roth ever did was a show called Fast Forward. He goes, man, last night I was partying with James Honeyman Scott. And I go, they were doing a lot of blow. They were tight. Van Halen and Pretenders were tight. And a little history was the bass player was a heroin junkie.
Yeah.
They fired him. 2 days later, James Honeyman Scott died.
Coke. Yep.
Yeah, of an overdose of coke. And then less than a year later, almost to the year, he died. Pete Farnan died of a heroin overdose. He drowned but he was already fired. Now, before he was fired, he got offered a gig with UFO. I didn't know this. Ruben told me this.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, during the Making Contact. So they were going to replace Pete Way, a fucked up junkie, with an even bigger fucked up junkie. But my God, and the drumming's great. But Chrissy Hines, man, I can't say she's the VIP, but her voice to me resonates more than it's ever had. I just ordered a Pretender shirt. I've become fanatical. The past 3 weeks, every single day, I'm playing that first album. Every day. I take a shower to it. I clean my house to it. Every fucking day. I can't get enough of this fucking album. And it's been in my collection for years. And now it's like I appreciate how amazing it is and the structures and everything about this album. It's just, to me, perfection. And it's really Pretenders. I mean, now looking back, Monday morning quarterback, you can say, they're extremely underrated. Nobody talks about the Pretenders. They were big for a little while back then, early 80s. But seriously, nobody talks about them anymore. Are they even in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? They might be. I don't know.
I think they are. But it's
Yeah.
one of the. I mean, it's the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. They're in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame not because they deserve to be, which they, in my opinion, they do. But it's like it's a chick-fronted band. We're being politically correct. We're going to do this.
Right.
They're in there, but in my opinion, it's for the wrong reasons. It's not for the music. What I really enjoyed about this, and I was surprised you picked this because I've never heard you talk about the Pretenders. But this is one that like I said, I was a very casual fan. I did not grow up with these albums. I grew up with the singles that you heard on the radio. But going back and listening to it and the way it fucking hit me is a testament to the timelessness, especially of this record. Because there are so many records that I love that we've talked about on this show that I know in my heart of hearts, if I'm being honest, has so much to do with timeline. And if timeline wasn't involved, there's no way that music would hit me the way it did. But when you go back and you find an album like this that you overlooked for so many years, and it hits you that hard in 2026, you know they did something right, there's something here that stands the test of time, and there's no timeline bullshit. There's no like, oh, it's because it's in vogue right now. It's because this music is still, just as vibrant today as the day it was recorded. So I feel this was an excellent pick, and I'm really glad you did that. And I love shows like this on the show, and that's exactly why from the get-go we called it the Rock and Metal Combat Podcast, so we could talk about different shit like this. That probably a lot of our listeners like, fucking Pretenders, what the they might know that fucking horrible what was that shit that she did in the mid 90s, that I'll Stand By You. I still hate that fucking song.
I don't know nothing about that.
Oh, you know it if you fucking heard it. But it's so like unpretenders. It's like, imagine her singing a song written by Diane Warren. Like, I'd be surprised if Chrissy Hines actually wrote this song. I think it might have been one of those where the record company says, sing this shit, it'll sell. And it was a huge hit in 1994. So I know you would know it if you heard it, but it doesn't sound anything like what you know and love from the Pretenders. It was kind of like with that Bryan Adams fucking Robin Hood song. It's that fucking like sugary and bullshit, but there's nothing sugary and bullshit about this album, and it's a great one, man, and super glad you picked it. So go ahead, man, start this fucking off.
All right, I took notes, which I never do. But
oh, now I know you like it. If you took notes, god damn.
yeah, because I mean, it's still fairly new to me. It's been like 3 weeks.
Right.
Do it every day, but I can't remember what song title's what. All right, it starts with Precious. Punky tune. Her phrasing on this song is perfection. Nobody sounded like this, and it's the music is raw, it's raucous, yet melodic and very punky at the same time. Great opener. That's how I feel about this song.
I love Precious. My notes are very similar. Great punky opener. Definitely not like, a girly song. Um, even though there is a chick singer, and there's a lot of similarities, maybe not necessarily musically, but like in the choices they take and the different shit they do, to the shirt I'm wearing right now, which is Susie and the Banshees. I'm a huge Susie and the Banshees fan. I mean, I'm a big fan of like 80s, uh, like post punk, like the new wave shit in general. But there's definitely, this is a lot harder and punkier than I think most people would expect from the Pretenders. You might hear that, and you might think "Don't Get Me Wrong" or something like that. That's a little bit more pop oriented than this shit. Uh, but no, it's a great fucking opener, and it stands up because it's not like, and I know this sounds sexist and horrible, but it's not girly shit. This is like, you listen to this song, it's like a punk song. Just so happens a badass girl is singing it, and great way to open the album. Then we go to the next one, Phone Call, which to me is very like Clash meets Blondie. And once again, Blondie is another band where if you're not a Blondie fan, One Way or Another, Heart of Glass or something like that. But if you listen to those first couple, there's a lot of like punk fucking shit. I mean, they came up in CBGBs, and it's a lot more than what just the popular songs are. And this to me is a perfect mix of those two bands. And it works, man. I think it's a cool song. What do you think of the Phone Call?
It's like classy but yet dirty, and it's a Sonic Genius song. And I love James Honeyman Scott's solo on this album, which I was talking about earlier. It's unique, it's original. He's doing stuff nobody's done before. He's not doing the show off shit, but he is kind of showing off with the notes he chooses. Um, he plays for the song better than just about anybody. I love this song. All right, next is called Up the Neck.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
they change gear here, a little more melodic, and Chrissy has a voice of a goddess. And that guitar sound is like what I was saying earlier. It's all over Smith albums. That song right there, you can hear Johnny Marr all over that structure. I don't know what, man, James Honeyman Scott really was a fucking genius and not talked about anymore. Like, no,
Yeah.
you never hear James Honeyman Scott talked about when you talk about great guitar players. And that's a fucking shame. I mean, and like Randy Rhoads, he only had 2 albums, not counting the stupid Quiet Riot albums. You know,
You said it.
well, those 2 Quiet Riot albums suck.
Yeah, they do.
But yeah, James really. It would have been great if he lived, man. See what could have happened. Where he could have gone.
I
But
agree.
I mean, when he died, he was very depressed because the bass player was his like best friend and shit. So he was
Yeah.
kind of bummed about that. But he still, and they were working on Back on the Chain Gang, him and Chrissy. And when he died, Chrissy said that was my right hand man. That was
Yep.
the guy that wrote the songs with me. He was the
Yeah.
main contributor in that band.
Yeah, there was a good, especially for the 80s, when I mean, you look at the 70s, some bands would release 2 albums in one year. And then you look at, when they go into Learning to Crawl, I think there was like a 3 year period there um, in between those. It took them some time to get over losing those two members, and finding other people. And if you look at Learning to Crawl, they started with some other members and it didn't gel. And then they ended up getting the guys who finished the album. So there was something about this initial lineup of the Pretenders that did these first two albums. And you can hear it because nothing they've done since then sounds quite like the first two albums. There's still some good music, but it's not like the first two.
Yeah, I gotta say the third album is because I've heard albums after the third one, and while they're not bad, I haven't heard them all yet. I still am in
Yeah.
the process of listening to all of them. I've heard like
Yeah.
maybe 4 albums after this one. They're not as good as the first three. The third one is not as good as the first two because obviously it's missing the key members, but song wise, they're really, really good songs.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, it was a great. I mean, I think it's the best they could have done without those two
Yeah,
members.
I agree. Well, as far as this song goes, though, great little strut to it. Uh, and it's just got that early 80s sound that I love, you know. And we've talked about this before. We're both in agreement. Like the early 80s was awesome. You know,
Amazing, amazing.
you go to 84. I go to 85. I go 1 year later. But I think we'll both agree, not just in metal, but in pop
Uh,
music,
I,
in like post punk, in everything. There was a distinct sound to the early 80s that was a mix, of the leftover of the 70s and the 80s creeping in, new technologies, new instruments and stuff. It just had a very distinct sound that still sounds fresh to me, and still sounds amazing. You say after 84, I say after 85, it all went to shit. It all went to shit. Was there some good music released? Yeah. But in general, I'm saying all forms of music really started to go downhill. Um, but
technically,
this song
I gotta
go
say,
ahead.
technically, this album was released in 1979 in some countries. I believe
Yeah, in Europe.
I could have sworn it was released in 79 here and 80 in Europe, but I could be wrong.
Well, it was January 80 in the States. So it's like I could see where you know, you might have heard something on the radio. I mean, some of these songs were released almost a full year before the album came out. In fact, there's one song on this album that was produced by a whole different producer who did their first single, and then he left after that. He said, "This band's going nowhere." And then they had to get another producer to do the whole rest of the record. We'll get to that when we get to that song. But no, no, this one's fucking awesome. Um, and I'll go to the next one, which is Tattooed Love Boys. Uh, a frantic rocker with that jangly fucking guitar sound. Uh, that, in a way, and you may or may not agree with me, uh, I think a lot of this shit started with Andy Summers. And you can hear a police influence on songs on this. I think Andy Summers introduced a whole new level of guitar playing. Because remember, the Police were considered punk on those first two albums. They were different, but they would play with punk bands and you would have all that. And Andy Summers introduced a whole new style of guitar playing. But I think a lot of these guitar players like took what he started, but then took it in their own direction. I mean, you can hear, stuff from like, the Pretenders to the Jam to Susie and the Banshees, this jangly fucking style that's really fucking cool. And, you mentioned Johnny Marr. Yeah, Johnny Marr was a huge fan of this. And Johnny Marr is one of those even people who like fucking hate Morrissey. And if you hate Morrissey and you hate the Smiths, I get it. I ain't fucking judging you. But even people who hate the band are like, man, Johnny Marr's got some good fucking guitar shit, man. It's an interesting sound. And he gets it from people like this, and albums like this. And in fact, there's a song on here that he would play before every Smith song. I mean, every Smith show as a warm up, because that's how much he loved him, and he loved this guy's guitar playing. Um, but no, this song just fucking kicks ass. Um, and again shows that if if you only know this band by the fucking hits, you don't really know this band. You need to check this out because this sounds nothing like the shit that's on the radio. Wouldn't you agree, Ralph?
Yep. This is
All right.
this is my all-time favorite Pretender song.
Wow. Okay.
This was the video that I saw on early MTV.
I've never seen the video for this.
Oh my God, it's an awesome video. They're just jamming in a room, but James Honeyman
Okay.
Scott flies through a big paper doing his little solo. Dude, it's sporadic, it's out of control. And again, the guitar solo, simple, but so effective. So
Yeah.
effective. And the bass, the drumming is fucking insane. And Chrissy's got that snotty, like fuck you attitude all over this song. Definitely my favorite song off the album. But I will say this. There's songs coming up on here that may be my favorite in the future because I love them so much. And what is the next song? All right. The next song is called Space Invader. Oh my God, the fucking bass playing on this, is and James Honeyman Scott again is like the VIP on this song. And it's an instrumental, but it's awesome. The vibe, the flow. I just love what the bass is doing. And the drumming and Chrissy Hines doing the rhythm playing. And James Honeyman Scott just, dude, bringing this inventive style. Like what Ian was saying about Andy Summers, I can totally see it. Because Andy Summers was probably the first to bring this unique guitar playing. James Honeyman Scott, I don't think sounds like Andy Summers at all. But I get what Ian is saying. He's taken what Andy Summers did and made it his own. Where Andy Summers, I think, is technically a better guitar player than James Honeyman Scott. Because, you listen to Message in a Bottle and shit like that. It's very intricate, what he's doing. But he doesn't show off. He plays for the song. Where, honestly, if you ask me, and I've been a Police fan for over 40 years, since the first album. I've been a fan of the Pretenders for the past month. I say I like James Honeyman Scott more than Andy Summers now. And I love Andy Summers. But that's how much this album has affected me. It has really blown my mind how much I love it. But anyway, I just talked about Space Invader, Ian. You go.
All right. Sorry for my long pause. Not only did I have to pee, but I have a new puppy who I'll show at the end of the show, and he just pissed on the floor. I had to clean it up. My wife is gone. Anywho, Space Invader. Love this fucking song. This is the song that made me go and get their discography. Because before this one, I was totally like, yeah, greatest hits. I thought I knew everything I needed to know about these guys from what I heard on the radio. And I heard this song on the fucking Sopranos. And I was like, what the fuck is this song, man? I had to look it up. So I fucking Googled it.
Wow. I got it. Well, you remember what episode?
Yeah. Oh, I wrote it down. It's Sopranos, season 2, episode 11, House Arrest. It's a scene where they're having some shit. There's some arguments with the garbage. The mob's got their hand in the garbage people and everything, and the garbage guys are like dumping all this garbage because people ain't paying and shit like that.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah,
And Richie Aprile was involved in that, right?
Yeah, yep. Season 2, Richie Aprile. So they're playing this in the background, like, what the fuck is this song? Because I knew it wasn't like like music for the show. It wasn't like background, like John Williams shit. You knew this was a song. And I just went, great thing about now, you can Google shit. I'm like, okay, what songs were in this episode? And then I saw Space Invader. Pretenders. Like, this doesn't sound like the fucking Pretenders. And sure enough, that's the song it was. And I was like, this is fucking badass. And I thought it was so funny when I was looking up doing research on the album, I saw some reviews where they credit this as the worst song on the album. And how in the fuck did this make the fucking album? I'm like, are you fucking kidding? This is what made me decide, okay, I need to get everything and check them out because obviously I don't know everything about the Pretenders. Love it. This was written by the guys too. This Chrissy Hines, she didn't have a fucking hand in this one. This is just the Dead Boys, if you want to call them that. This is the bass player and the guitar player came up with this one. It kicks ass. And even like when you told me this is what we're gonna do, we talked about this on Friday. Minute I got off work, man, I get dropped off the bus, I get in my car, I got this on my phone, man, and I fucking just cranked it up, man. I'm just like, and I got like a good sound system in my car, just like boom, boom, boom. I fucking love this song. Amazing, and it doesn't feel out of place. I mean, yeah, it's an instrumental, but if you listen to the context of the other shit in the album and like the punky vibe, and the early 80s sound, man, it fits perfect, man. Incredible. Love this fucking song. All right. And I will say it goes back and forth between my second and third favorite on this album. Um, it's really hard. I keep going back and forth, but just know it's 2 or 3 for me for this one. I'll take the next song, which is "The Weight." Another punky rocker. I like it. Hits its mark and it leaves. Doesn't overstay its welcome. It fits within the album. It's not. To me, it's not in my top 3, but I still really fucking dig it, and it fits perfect in the context. So it's a definitely thumbs up for me. What do you think?
Oh, definitely one of my favorites on here. Totally rockin' tune. And there's just something so unique with Honeyman Scott, The structures are very inventive and really never done before. Like you were talking about, and I said this while you were in the bathroom, Andy Summers. I totally agree with what you're saying, but I don't feel this guy sounds anything like Andy Summers, but he's definitely taking what Andy Summers did and making it his own, where Andy Summers
Right.
wasn't that much of a show off. I think Andy Summers was more of a show off on like chords like Message in the Bottle, for instance. I don't think
Yeah.
James Honeyman Scott can do that, with the stretchy fingers and shit.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean anything to me, really. Even though I worship Message in the Bottle to this day, never get sick of
Right.
it.
No,
But
I think it just he introduced it. He introduced it. Listen to me. I think what he added to the punk sound was like you could be a proficient musician and still play this type of music and play abstract stuff. And that kind of jangly sound, I think, started with him. But definitely guys like this guy. I keep forgetting his Honeydew or Honey Mountain.
James Honeyman Scott.
Honeyman Scott. You know what I mean? They took kind of the concept, but took it in their own direction. I feel this guy's a totally original, but I kind of see where like when Andy Summers made it popular, it gave these guys permission to say, hey, there's nothing wrong with playing aggressive music, but being able to play your instrument, to take it to another level. And I think that's what they got from Andy Summers, more so than an outright ripoff where you had a million Eddie Van Halen clones. It was just like, hey, we can do this new style of music and still have musicality to it. Great guitar player, though.
What he does on this song impresses me as much as early Yngwie did, just in 2 different realms of
Right.
guitar playing. Yngwie was just technically a god, where this guy wasn't technically a god, but when it came to what he put on a song, just as impressive. Just
Yeah.
as impressive. And the
And
bass line and the vocal breakdown, that's one thing. My favorite part of the song is that vocal breakdown, where it's just the bass and the drums and Chrissy. It's biblical. It really is. It's that fucking good. And the solo on this song is fucking biblical. I love the way,
Yeah.
probably my 3rd favorite. Well, maybe my 4th favorite. All right, next. a Kinks cover called "Stop Your Sobbing." I gotta tell you, man, this is my second favorite song off the album.
Really?
It may be my favorite in the future. I
Wow.
love the fuck out of this song, and I've never heard the Kinks cover, and I went and listened to it. Man, the Kinks cover is incredible too. I love them both, but you know what? I gotta go with this version more because I love how Chrissy comes in during the verses where it's "Gotta stop stepping around," and how she comes in. That's not on the original Kinks version.
Right.
It's yeah, I love it. It's very poppy. Her voice is just amazing. The thing that about the let me see. I don't even know what I wrote here. The thing about the Pretenders was that they can take this beautiful song and make it even more perfect. Um, I love it, and I think the King song version is very, very good. I mean, like, unlike Van Halen, who took "You Really Got Me" and "Where Have All the Good Things Gone," made them miles better than the King's version, in my opinion. I think the King's, this one, I don't think they do it miles better. It's just a little better than the King's version. I love this song. It's great. And this is the song that in my brain, it's like I do remember hearing this as a kid. It must have been on the radio because it sounds familiar to me. I love this song.
All right. Well, I will say um, this is my least favorite on the album, but I still like it. But I grew up with the King. My dad was a huge Kinks fan, and not just like one era of the Kinks. Like I grew up well versed in the '60s Kinks, '70s Kinks, '80s Kinks, all that shit. So it was different for me because I never heard this cover before, but I was very familiar with the original. It's on the first Kinks album. Um, I do like what she did with it, but I'm just so used to like hearing the original. And this might be one that changes with me over time because I don't think she did anything bad with it. It's just, you know how it is. If you're used to one version all the time, even if it's a good cover, in the back of your mind, you're hearing what you've grown up with.
It's like a
Uh,
lot of a lot of people say Sepultura did a better version of Orgasmatron. I heard Orgasmatron first.
yeah, no, and I'm with you on that because I heard Sepultura's first, and I love and as much, I'll tell you this, I like Orgasmatron better live, um, by Motorhead than I do the version of on the album. And I'm not, I'm one of those rare ones. I like Orgasmatron. I don't like it as much as rock and roll, and most people are the opposite. They like Orgasmatron better. But whenever I hear Orgasmatron, I hear fucking Max singing, but it's just whatever you discover first. I dig the song, but like I said, it's probably my least favorite. Um, but what the fuck, it's still good. And then we flip this fucker over and we go, wow, this side of this record really just, whoo, I love this shit. Kid, uh, great way to start side two. Uh, and this is the one that Johnny Marr used to play before every Smith show as a warm up. He would play this song. And he actually talks about he came out and played with the Pretenders once, or he might have done a tour or something. And he said to get on stage and to play Kid was just like, to him, it was like godlike. Um, and I love this song. And this one was the second single off the album. I didn't mention on the last song, the Kinks cover. That was the first single off the record, and Nick Lowe produced that. You know that the "Cruel to Be Kind" motherfucker.
I
Yeah,
love
he
that song.
produced. Yeah, he produced it, but he thought like he kind of did it as like a paid thing, and he's like, "This band's going nowhere," and he's like, "I'm only doing this one song," and left. And then I think it was a Chris Thomas who produced this. I'd have to look. But anyway, yeah, he left after that song. So this is the second single, and I had no idea when I first listened to it This song is about a guy who finds out his mom's a prostitute. And I didn't get, I just like the beat of the song and listening to it and everything. And then I realized why Mark Allen Taylor liked this song so much. You
Who?
know, yeah, I said I had to mention it to him because the song's about a guy who finds out his mom's a prostitute. A lot of people don't know this. Mark Allen Taylor, the technical term for it is trick baby. That's when your mom's a whore and she got knocked up by a John, and then you end up liking Sammy Hagar.
La la
Uh,
la 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 la. Not listening. La 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 la.
but don't let that deter you. Kid is a fantastic song and a great way to open up side two. I love it. What do you think, Ralph?
Oh yeah, this may be my favorite in the future. I'm telling you, a lot of these songs coming up. This is definitely not a front-loaded album. Let me tell you. I love Kid. My favorite vocals by her, and the song is awesome. I love what every member does on this. The bass lines, the drumming, the killer guitar playing. You know, like I said, it reminds me of the Sex Pistols. It reminds me of the Ramones. Oh, look at that. Oh my
This is
God.
this is Bowie. Look, he's got a mask on,
You know how
and I
you know how fucking awesome that puppy would be with some mayo and ketchup?
and yes, I named him Bowie after the unreleased Kiss song. Wouldn't you rather be listening to David Bowie? Oh, who's a good boy? Who's a good boy?
All
Uh,
right. So yeah, I love Kid, one of my favorite, maybe my favorite in the future. Love it.
awesome. We'll take the next one.
Private Life. Uh this one took a bit of getting into, I'll be honest with you. At
Wow.
first I thought it dragged, but then it got stuck in my head where out of every song on this album, this is a song that got stuck in my head after repeat listens. And I still think it drags, but that makes it the only song in the history of music that I like that drags. I love the song. I do now love it. But, it's kind of a draggy tune. It is kind of like a sore thumb, too, on the album. Kind of sticks out. It's not like the rest of the album. But boy, after repeat listens, I ended up loving it. I love every song on this album. But I love this song. It's good.
All right. Well, just shows you how we have such different takes on shit. This is the one that I go back and forth. What's my second and third favorite between this and Space Invader? Um, I love this song. To me, this is like a driving at night song. You're driving down the highway, put something on, it just sounds so fucking good. Um, and the funny thing is, this album came out in January, and by I think June or July, Grace Jones put out an album the same fucking year and had a cover of this on her album. She loved it so much. Um, and I like that version as well. Not as much as the Pretenders version, that's for sure. But I like some Grace Jones. Um, but no, I love this song. There's just something dark about it. It does stick out in a way, but to me, in the best possible way. I think there's another song coming up on the album that sticks out, and I think not necessarily in the best way. Uh, but this one, oh, man, I love this one. This is definitely a go-to track on the album for me. Um, all right, I'll take the next one, which is, I mean, the big one. Everybody knows Brass and Pocket. The third single, oddly enough, the third single off the album. You mentioned it earlier, the seventh video shown on MTV. And to me, the best song on the album. And I never get tired of this. We've talked on this show about, I've talked about songs that have been killed by rock radio that I don't feel the same affinity for anymore, like Stairway to Heaven, Hotel California, songs I once loved that, like, if it comes on now, what, buddy? I got to change the channel. Brass and Pocket, never, ever, ever get tired of. I find it funny that, Chrissy Hynde didn't want this on the album. She didn't like the lyrics. She didn't like the way her voice sounded. Uh, and she told the producer at one point, "Over my dead body, is this going on the album?" Um, which is crazy to me because it's just a flawless pop song. Again, every time even today, I listen to this album 3 times today to do my notes, and
Well,
every
well,
time,
well, Chrissy Hines did come around. She
oh
agreed.
yeah, oh yeah, oh
She
yeah,
agreed to
she
put it on
likes,
the album because after a while she's like, "Oh, you know what? This is a good song."
oh yeah, and she said, and years later, she's like, when she plays it now, she knows she owes her career to this song and what it's brought to her, but her initial like reaction to it wasn't what the rest of the world's was, and it's just I love it. It's a perfect fucking pop song. Uh, and it's not just her. It's the guitar on this, the bass, the drums, everything. Um, flawless. Love it. What do you think, Ralph?
Yeah, I mean, it was always around when I was a kid. I never really was like, "Wow, that's a great song." Never really appreciated it as much as I should have. Where now I'm listening to this album in the context, and my God, I love this song. It's just awesome. There's a lot of nostalgia attached to me loving it, but I think it's a beautiful song. I like Chrissy's playing on it, her simplistic dun 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 dun, got brass. I love the video, which was played to death back in the early
Yeah.
MTV days. I'm
Well, they
special.
only had like 20 videos, you know.
Yeah. They had the menu special. I'm special, special. It's goofy, but it's awesome. It is an awesome song, which I've come to appreciate more now than I ever have because I'm so into this album. All right, next one. Lovers of Today. I say this song, Christy's voice on this song is agonizingly beautiful. The way she sings this. It's a beautiful song um, that would crush if this would crush you if you listen to this after a bad breakup. It's very emotional, and that solo section is the highlight of this whole fucking album, I would say. My favorite part of the whole album is the breakdown
Wow.
of this song. What James is doing and what is going on behind him reminds me of Pink Floyd's The Wall. It actually does. Sounds
Wow.
like something off the wall. And, that's my favorite album of all time. So I can't stress enough how unbelievable Chrissy is on this track. She really, I mean, as much as everybody's delivering, I would say she's the most crushing. Her voice is agonizing on this song. Beautiful. I love it. What do you think?
Awesome. Well, again, it's weird. It just shows how much we can both love this album but have such different opinions. Uh, it's a ballady track. It's my second least favorite on the album. I still like it. Um, but the one thing that like keeps me from like being is the guitar on this. I love how dark the guitar sound is. Not necessarily not like heavy, not like in like a Tony Iommi crunchy kind of way, but it's dark. It's dark and haunting and beautiful. I do the guitar work on this saves it for me for the guy that's not really a ballad guy. The guitar just supersedes it because it's like it's almost in a different song kind of thing, but it's in this and it works. But it sounds like you could take that same guitar track and put it in another song and it would still work. It's that fucking good. Um, yeah, I dig it, but yeah, it's my second least. And then we go to the closing track, which is Mystery Achievement. Uh, wow, what a way to end the fucking album. I love this one. A great closer. And what I love about it is this, it kind of like sums up the whole album, which is pretty neat because I think like you take little bits of every song that you've heard so far, you can find in this. There's rocking moments, there's tender moments, uh, musically, it's kind of all over the place with tempo, but it just encompasses everything that this album is. And I love it. This is one that I like didn't realize that I knew. Like I didn't recognize it by title, but when I heard it, I was like, "Oh, I've heard that song before." I've heard it on the radio. Um, of course, not like you hear the big hits, but I have heard this one. Absolutely love it. I couldn't think of a better song to end the album. What do you think, Ralph?
The opening bass line is so awesome on this album, on this song. The natural vibrato and Chrissy's voice is beautiful. The whole song is just insane ear candy and still sounds fresh after all these years. The solo section is unbelievable. How that bass is so locked in with the drums and James going off with such an original sounding solo that is total Johnny Marr. And the notes that Chrissy holds at the end, unbelievable. Unbelievable. Like you said a million times, a perfect album is one that leaves with a song you wanting more. This one's it. And,
Yeah.
and again, like I keep saying, this may be my favorite song in the future. It may be Kid, you know, or it may be, Stop Your Song. Awesome album, beautiful album, and I'm glad that you agreed to do this with me.
Oh yeah.
It's all I've been listening to for the past like 3 weeks. I am a total junkie on this album. I can't stop. It's something that I have lived almost 50 years without, and it's been around. And it's been in my record collection maybe 7, 8 years,
Yeah.
and not till now. And by the way, that album I got, it's perfect. No skips,
Oh
cracks.
really?
Oh my God, though. I'm pretty sure I got that album as a hand-me-down because there was this guy called John Yearwood who gave me a stack of albums. No, I'm sorry, it was David Maurer. He gave me a stack of albums, and I believe that was in there. But yeah,
You
man.
know what? What's funny is I have Learning to Crawl on vinyl that was from a stack that somebody gave me, like, oh, you like records? Here, I'll give you these. So I have Learning to Crawl on vinyl. And I can't remember if you mentioned earlier, you got turned out, you had to do a track by track, right?
Yeah.
Do you remember who the track by track was for? So you give them credit? Do you know who request? Okay, no, that's fine. Do you know what album it went up
Yeah.
against?
Oh, and actually it was a three track by track. It went against two
Oh,
other albums. Billy Squire, Sign of Life. Is that the name?
ooh.
It's the
Yeah,
one
that
that
that yeah, that's a Billy Squire album.
yeah, it went against that, and I can't remember the other one. And it ended up beating the other two by a lot, actually.
Yeah,
And it was actually the first time I don't think I ever played Learning to Crawl. It's been in my collection
yeah,
all this time. And I remember when the guy sent it, I go, I think I got that one. I went and looked, I go, yeah, I have it. So I put it on the turntable, and I was shocked how good it was. And that's
yeah.
what made me go back to the first one. And the first one made me order. I have the second one now on. And the nice guy that I bought it off eBay, he sent me an extra CD, which is The Pretenders, the singles, with all the singles on it.
Nice.
So that was nice that he sent me
But I
that.
mean, how awesome is that? Like, you have this great, show that you do where you do I mean, and you get paid to do these, and then you discover, this shit that you love. I think that's just a great fucking story, and it's like one of those better late than never. And that's what I think is great about this show is look how many of our listeners have told us like you turned me on to this band, and people of all ages. It's never too late to find like your next favorite fucking album, and I really think that's incredible. you
I
know
got it. I got into Winger because of track by
Yeah.
track. I was like, fuck, man, Winger's awesome.
I know, and then I saw one like today. Like I can't wait to watch it. But in the back of my head, I'm thinking, who and the fuck would pay for this? But I saw you had to do. It was, God, it was Van Halen 3
Oh
against.
yeah, balance.
against balance. I was like, and that just shows you how much, like we could sit here and sing the praise of any album, but people really love negativity and they love to hear bullshit. Like who in their right mind would pay to hear? They know you're gonna hate both of them, and these people can't even like that fucking shit.
Oh no,
Because
this guy, the guy that asked for that one, hated it. He goes, he called Van Halen 3 Vanaria, like diarrhea. I said, hey, I'm gonna call it Vanaria. I like that.
But no, that's awesome. But for all of those, there's something like this that turns you on, much like Gentle Giant. Because of a
Well,
listener.
yeah, Gentle Giant was another one, track by
Yeah,
track. The Clash. I used to hate the Clash.
yeah,
Now, I love the first three. I couldn't
yeah.
get to Sandinista and London Call. Not London Call. What's that one? The one with Rock and
The Combat
Combat
Rock.
Combat Rock and Cut the Crap. I didn't like those, but man,
Yeah,
the first
Cut the
one,
Crap's horrible.
the first one may be my favorite, but I love Give 'Em Enough Rope and
Yeah.
London Calling.
And that's why, because I remember when we started this show, you hated the Clash.
Yeah, I hate them. I hate them with a passion. Now I love them. My
Yeah,
girlfriend
well,
still hates them.
but no, I think that's great. Like, not only can we turn people on to music, but the listeners can turn us on to
Yeah.
shit.
Oh, yeah.
So it's, you guys give us just as much as we give you. It all comes back around, man. And don't give up. Don't give up on new music, man. Even if it's
Don't give,
old music. If you
yeah,
don't know it, it's new to you.
don't give up on old music, like
Yep.
the first Pretenders album. And that's another reason I want to do this episode. Because if I get one person to love it as much as me, mission accomplished. Because man,
Yeah.
it brings me a lot of joy, this album. It really does. You know, I'm telling you, like the older I get, I love a lot of new music. Don't get me wrong, I do. But it's new music that nobody likes. It's like, I'm a big fan of that band Tail Gunner. Who the fuck knows Tail Gunner? But
Right.
I love them. And there's other ones, like Thriller and shit like that. But that's all metal, retro metal. I love. But man, when I get into shit like the Pretenders,
Yeah.
it's just a whole new world to me. It really is. I mean, I know it's pretty much based on punk rock, the album, but it's got this lush melody, that voice of Chrissy, the inventiveness,
Yep.
James Honey Scott, the spot on playing of the drums. I love the
Yep.
Pretenders, and I hope, with all my heart, at least one person listens to this album not knowing it, going, God damn, that's really good. And a word of advice for people: don't give it one spin. Because when I first got this album as a hand-me-down, it had Tattooed Love Boys, which I already loved. Oh fuck, it's got that song. So I played the album, and I remember thinking, that's not bad, but never played it again till last 3 weeks. Now it's like I can't stop fucking playing it. And that's why I told you, dude, do you like the Pretenders? Let's do the first album. Because I think this album is really an underrated gem, you know?
Well, also sometimes when you put on something like that, you put it on as background music, and sometimes you actually pay attention to it. And sometimes you could put something on as background and it grabs your attention. But sometimes, I've been that way with movies. I put something on, but I'm kind of doing other things. I'm like, it didn't really grab me. But when I sit there and actually give it fucking attention, it's easier for people our age because we're not fucking TikTok kids. We have a little bit more of an attention span. But like sometimes you just sit down with the fucking record, put some headphones on, or give it your all, and you'll get a lot more reward.
Well, that's
So
what I
fucking
did with learning to crawl. It made me pay attention to the first album. Because learning to crawl, I had to pay attention because it was a track by track.
right.
So when I put on the first album, I really paid attention. I was like, damn, this shit is great. Awesome stuff. Love it. Pretenders. Right on.
Awesome. Great episode. I'm the same with you. I hope we really do turn somebody on to this.
Yeah, I don't,
And
I may not get a lot of views, but I don't care as long as I get one person to like it.
I agree. All right. Well, now it's time to go to pick of the week. And I'm gonna say third shelf on your right,
Right
towards
here?
the back. Yeah, towards the back,
Over here?
right there, right there. That's the one I'm talking about. That's the winner chicken dinner.
Yeah. Oh, we reviewed this. Night of the Storm Rider, Iced Earth.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah, this is a great album, man. Angel Holocaust, Desert Rain. Oh, there's a lot of good stuff. Oh, Pure
Now, now,
Evil.
now, is that's one of the ones? There's two versions of that, right?
I'm not sure, but I know this is the original album cover. But this album is, I believe, High Roller. No, Century Media, which is a repress. But I
No,
believe
no, no,
that,
no. But what I meant is that one of the ones like they recorded two different versions with two singers. Isn't it like one with Matt Barlow and one with another guy?
no, that was I think
Days
it's
of
called
Purgatory.
Days of Purgatory, which was a combination of those three albums without
Oh, okay,
it was a
okay,
compilation. So no,
okay.
this was only recorded once, like all these songs. But yeah, great pick I just did.
No, I do like that one, and that's proof that I don't care if you're a douchebag. If you make good music, I like it. And that was a real good. I mean, if you want like just outright metal, that was a real good fucking album. Well, speaking of real good fucking metal, for my pick of the week, man, it was hard. It was hard because I've got like three new albums that I've been listening to that have really been fucking, tickling my pickle. One is the new Claypool Lennon Delirium. Fucking love that album. Oh, dude, I should have brought it down. I've got it like on colored vinyl, fucking gatefold with a comic book, and it just, the sound is amazing. The album's amazing. I love the new Deep Purple album. I really do. I don't know if it's quite as good as Equals, but fucking, it's pretty close. But there's one record that's a fucking metal record that I'm like, hell yeah. And somebody on the Almost Human channel, because, I don't go on your show anymore, but I'm still in your chat room. And somebody talked about it. They said, I like the music, but the vocals sucked. And I was like, oh, that sucks because I was pulling for this when I heard about it before it happened. But that is Lex Legion.
Oh yeah,
Holy fuck. To me, that is like fucking King Diamond meets Queensryche in the best possible fucking way. Uh I cannot stop listening to this one. And it's a short album. It's like 9 songs. It's like 35 minutes. But to me, it's metal. It just sounds so old school and so fucking good. I love the singer. I don't know who he is. I know a lot of the other guys in the band. Of course, Mickey D, fucking Andy LaRock and shit. Uh, and the singer's from some other, he's probably from some fucking faggoty power metal band that only Wayne Noon knows. But speaking of which, Wayne Noon, holy fuck. Have you seen he's been doing the fucking the reviews and shit?
yeah.
Oh, that is comedy at its finest. I fucking I love Wayne. Wayne, we got to get Wayne on the fucking show,
Oh
man. One of
yeah,
these
we
days.
should. Yeah, he's a whack job.
Oh, I love Wayne, but man, he's got some fucking wacky opinions. But I love him. Um, but no, I'm really fucking happy with that album. What do you think? Have you heard the whole thing?
No, I only heard a couple songs and wasn't that impressed. But hey,
Wow.
the true judging is to hear it all.
Yeah, dude. Do you want me to send it to you?
Oh,
I
I
can
can
send it
get
to
it.
you.
I can get it. I can get
Okay.
it.
All right.
I got Soul Seek now.
All right. No, I love it, dude. It's old school, man. It is old, and it really does. Like on the majority of it, this guy sounds like a little bit more aggressive. Jeff Tate. I'm super impressed, and as much as I love this other, like if I'm going for like metal record of the year, so far this is the one to beat because it just feels like it's straight out of the fucking 80s, but in a good way, not like cheesy 80s, just like I don't know. I think it's fucking awesome. Check it out, Lex Legion.
Right
All right.
on.
Well, now it's time to go to fan of the week, and it's funny. I picked this guy before I even saw he was in the comments for our last episode, and you guys, he's not just the guy that agrees in my hatred of the Muslim population. He's all that and much more. Ron Dimert, or as I like to call him, Dirt Mitts. Um, what a great fan of the show. Has been around forever. And what I love about this guy, not only does he have an amazing collection of music and videos, this is a guy that will share it with anybody. He's not like, oh, I'm just gonna keep this shit. You'll see he'll make posts, like he'll put shit up on fucking uh what I just sent you shit on. Can't remember the name of it.
Dropbox.
Dropbox. Yeah. He'll put up Dropbox shit, like whatever you're into. If he's got it, he'll share it with you. He ain't asking for a fucking dime. Um, you know, just a really cool cat that loves fucking metal. And I love that he's opinionated too. Like he's into some weird shit and a weird variety, but he'll share whatever. And if you look at him, man, he's like, if Gandalf the Grey sold nickel and dime bags, it would be Ron Dermott. Just
He
a
sent,
really
he,
cool
he
fucking
sent
cat.
me countless of killer bootlegs through the years.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Oh yeah. And never asked for a dime, man. He just wants to share the music with people who love it. And I love that about him, man. That's just a music fan, And super cool cat, and like I said, been around for a long time, and want to give him some love, man. Dirt Mitts, you fucking rule.
Right on, Ron Dirtman.
All right. Well, there you go. Again, we talked about some future episodes that are coming up. And, like I said, let us know in the comments section. Let us know on the Facebook page if you're cool enough to be in the Facebook page. If you're not one of those Sammy Hagar fags that made it through and got kicked out. Let us know how you want to do the hot takes episode. Should we do it live? Should we do a mix? Whatever. Throw in some ideas that you have.
Yeah,
We always say,
hey, we're all open to ideas, but we are not opening to listening to you. So go ahead, waste
right,
your time.
right,
Waste your
right.
time.
But if you say something, we're like, oh, that's a good idea, we'll do it.
That's rare because everybody has bad ideas.
Yeah, I know, but there's a chance. Not a good chance, but a chance.
Yeah, 1 in a million.
All right. Well, this episode, we're recording this on Friday, July 3rd. If this episode, like I said, I'm a little under the weather. If it's not up tonight, it'll definitely be up on the 4th. And
I'll definitely send it to you tonight.
Okay. We'll see how I'm on a lot of fucking medication, so we'll see how long I can stay up. But if it's not up tonight, it's going to be up the next day. Thank you guys for waiting. And hopefully, you won't have to wait this long again. We got some great shit coming up. We're still doing quality episodes here at the Rock and Metal Combat Podcast, and that ain't going to change.
We are the GOAT, and we're still doing great with the numbers, I've noticed.
Yep, doing very well.
Steady. We're steady.
So if you enjoyed this shit, come back next week to the Rock and Metal Combat Podcast.
Smack 'em a gob. How do you stop this shit?
How do I find that confounded bridge? Put your glasses on, Grandpa.
God damn, I can't stop this. This is still entertaining, people.